One of my strangest experience here in the UK was when I drove myself to the emergency room because I was having some pain on my lower stomach for almost like a week. But the whole time I was hesitant to go to the hospital or to the emergency room because at that time I didn't have any insurance, health insurance, and I know how health insurance works in the US, and also know how calling the ambulance to your house in terms of like emergency, like an emergency, how much it also costs. I also know that basically anything costs like money, when it comes to like hospital back in the US. So for a week, because I didn't know what to do, I was still trying to do my research about immigrants in the UK going to the hospital. How does that work? How much you have to pay? What's the process? All that stuff. So for a week, my stomach was just like bothering me. I'm talking about like I could barely sleep. I went to the pharmacy to get like some, something to like help the pain and stuff like that. I'm talking about even when I drive, if I go to like a speed bump, my stomach will like it was pretty bad. It's almost like there was like a sharp knife that kept like poking me every time there was some type of movement on my stomach, and my stomach was like super bloated. So I told myself, I was like, enough is enough. Like, I don't care how much it will cost. I mean, I'm not sure if I have to pay, how much I have to pay, because again, I'm not um, like a UK citizen, like a citizen from England or anything. So I told myself, instead of calling the emergency to come like get me the ambulance to come get me all that stuff, I'm gonna wait one more day because I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't tolerate this pain anymore. So I was like, I'm gonna wait till my day off and I'm gonna drive to the nearest emergency room and then see if they can like see me, and then whatever I have to pay, maybe have some type of like payment plan, because you're allowed to have like payment plans back in the US. So I drove myself to the emergency room. They gave me, did they give me a ticket? Yeah, I think they gave me a ticket. And I sat there. It was very busy. Obviously, emergency room. There was a lot that was happening. A lot was happening in the emergency room. There was long waits. I waited for about 4 hours, like 3 hours and like 40 minutes. I waited sitting there, and during that time I've witnessed a lot of stuff. But again, this is normal because it's the emergency room. That's what it's called, emergency, right? So finally, when it was my time to being seen, um, they took me to a smaller room at the entry of the emergency room to take like ask me some questions and get my information. And at that time I did have my NHS number, so I did that. So they asked me for that, all that stuff. And they asked me what was happening. I told them everything, and they told me to wait, but go ahead and wait again, and then somebody will call me. So they transferred me to another room, not a waiting room. So then I waited there for about like another 30 minutes, and after that, somebody came and got me, and they were okay. They all the examination and all that stuff, the assessment, and they said that I have ventriculitis. I believe it was ventriculitis. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. Then the guy told me, okay, I'm gonna prescribe you two things. You can get out of the pharmacy, blah blah blah. That's okay, no worries. And then when super nice doctor, by the way, the doctor was like super nice. He knew what he was doing. That's for sure. It was very quick with the diagnosis too. Like he didn't even have to do like any like took me to like machine or like did anything. It was like he touched my belly and asked all these questions and my symptom, and he said that's his, and he told me you have literally ventriculitis. I said bet. So now it was time to exit. So when I exit, I went back to the the counter, right, to talk to the lady, and I asked her, I was like, um, how much do I have to pay today, and how much is it? Like, what will be the estimate for my bill if I am gonna get a bill? She's like, don't you don't have to pay anything. I'm like, are you sure? She said, no, no, you don't pay anything. I'm like, maybe like any deductibles or like some sort. She said no, and I was like, okay. I was like, will I get something in the mail? She said, no, you won't get anything on the mail. And I was like, okay. And I kept asking her the same question just to make sure, because I didn't want it to have like a surprise bill. And she said, no, you won't get anything on the mail. And she was like, and she gave me the instruction on where to go for those, the medicine they gave me, the drugs they gave me. And but that was the first time that I experienced like it was just such a weird feeling, like going to a hospital and not expecting to get billed. It was very strange, guys. Like it was very strange. Even when I left the hospital, the emergency room, I kept thinking in my head, nah, I should expect a bill. I should expect a bill. And no, I didn't have any bills. The only thing I had to pay some sort of fee for one of the prescription that I got. And then to this day, I still didn't get billed, which is still weird. Like in my head, I still save some type of money in my head. So like, if kids they like send a bill saying like, "Hey, this is what you owe last year," I can actually pay for it because I'm still so wired of like, you know, you have to when you go to a house, free healthcare. I'm not used to that. Like I am not used to that, and it's still weird to me. And that's the reason I didn't go to the emergency room or the hospital for a week of having this pain, because I kept like I was like, let me do the research, let me do all that stuff, and I was still like I was like kind of like scared of like how much it was going to cost, which I shouldn't wait it. That's my health, but that was like very hesitant because of I know how much something like this will cost if I was in the U.S. And but yeah, so that was one of the strangest thing I've experienced in the UK. Now having